I just realised the top I'm wearing. There's a fashion brand in the UK called Luke 1977. It was set up by a bloke called Luke Roper, who was clearly born in 1977. I myself was born in 1977. Luke is a common name for 1977 because it was the year Star Wars came out. It's obviously Luke Skywalker. My mum is adamant, you didn't name me after Luke Skywalker. He's like, you didn't necessarily name me after Luke Skywalker, but Luke was a prevalent name in that year because of Luke Skywalker. So I'm probably called Luke because of Star Wars, as is probably Luke from 1977, who makes this fashion brand. It does make it look a bit egotistical. Anyway, I thought I'd talk a little bit about this is a common myth that floats around in the industry a lot, about how people driving fancy lorries are on less money. You see this a lot, and I can only ever talk about personal experience. So maybe it is the case for some places, but in general, it's not the case. Like, you don't earn less money for driving a fancy lorry. At HSF, everybody had the same money. All the lorries are pretty much the same. Then I went to Virginia and drove an R500, same money as everybody else. Then I drove a 440, same money as everybody else. But then I moved on to a 750, same money as everybody else. My wages didn't go up or down to pay for the lorry. They were the same money as everybody else. Then I drove a 750 at Bull, same money as everybody else. I drove all the fancy lorries at White's, all the special edition Scanias and stuff, same as everybody else. But the thing is, at White's, yes, they had all the special edition Scanias, but also I frequently drove the old rental trucks that they hired in over Christmas. So at one point I was driving this scabby old orange Bulgarian registered DAF. I earned the same amount of money as a bloke driving a fancy truck. Same amount of money. Broughton's, my first stint at Broughton's, I was driving a plain white 460 DAF. And the same money as everybody else. The people in the 500 and whatnot Scanias, V8 Scanias and stuff, we all earn the same money. So it's, in my experience, it's just a load of old nonsense. It's just people, to make people feel driving shite trucks feel a bit better about themselves, I think. But like, why do you need to feel better about yourself? Just do what you want to do. You shouldn't be like hinging your ego on what truck you drive. Like, it's something I mentioned in the courses a lot, actually, is because the problem is you give some drivers a big fancy lorry and they suddenly get an ego the size of the moon. And I've encountered a lot of those. I'm not going to mention who. But they think there's something special because I've been given this fancy lorry. I've driven all the fancy lorries. I got a 750 border for me at Virginia and at Bull. Drove all special edition Scanias at White's. Had a full red passion at Gibson and stuff. I didn't get all these vehicles because I was anything special. I get all these vehicles because I was in the right place at the right time and made the most of it. So yeah. If you get given a fancy truck, don't go thinking it's because you're amazing, because you're probably not. It's just, you're in the right place at the right time. It's the most convenient time for them to give that truck to you as opposed to anybody else. Just try and keep the ego in check. Because people occasionally think I've got a big ego. I haven't got a big ego. I honestly think I'm a bit of a twat. Not in a poor me sense, I just am. It's just, that's the long and the short of it. I'm a bit of an idiot. But there we go. I don't really care. But yeah, I haven't got a big ego because I drove fancy trucks. I just made the most of it while I had the opportunity. And that's what I suggest you do too. So somebody by buying you a 750, which is fairly rare to be fair, but you never know. Maybe. Good day. Actually, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Virginia bought me that 750 because of my social media. Actually, Bull probably did as well. Their 750, but for the social media. And it did create a big stir online, lots of popularity and stuff from those vehicles bought because of my social media. Yet nobody's really done it since. Nobody's bought like a vlogger, big fancy lorry. I'm hoping to be corrected on that, but from any, because I don't watch any vloggers lorry videos. But yeah, if somebody, a trucking vlogger has been bought a big fancy lorry because of their vlogs, let me know. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. Yes, good day. Yeah, so if you want a big fancy lorry because you're trying to make a go of it in vlogging, it's probably not going to happen. Sorry. Good day.